Hey guys, out of all the characters in the history of gaming, few are as iconic as Sonic. He's blue, he wears sneakers, and he's perpetually trapped in the 1990s. Representing the Sega brand, Sonic exploded onto the scene in 1991 and was a major part of the great console war between Sega and Nintendo. The early Sonic games had a lot going for them in the 90s, and they sold a lot of systems too.
It even slices and dices, makes thousands of julienne fries. But wait, you can play it too!
But by the end of the decade, things were changing pretty rapidly, and interest in 2D games was fading away. 3D was becoming the hip new thing, and Sega needed to respond if it was to retain its place in the video game console market. Fast forward through several failed projects and 2 home consoles, and we finally got it! Sonic Adventure came out as a launch title for the Sega Dreamcast on September 9th, 1999 in the US, and it was met with a lot of praise. However, I never played this version. I was too busy being 3 years old and playing Ooga Booga and being scared of the Butler in Tomb Raider, so I never even heard of the Dreamcast. The version of Sonic Adventure that I played was this one, Sonic Adventure DX. This version of the game came out on the GameCube 20 years ago as of this recording, and so I thought this would be a great opportunity to reflect on this period of gaming. To be honest, this is a game I have always felt conflicted about. Sonic Adventure DX is a broken, glitchy, fucked up mess. But goddammit, there's just something about it that keeps me coming back every half a decade or so. Despite its flaws, the game does a lot right. If we take a look at the first level, for example, you can get a good idea of what the whole Sonic Adventure experience has to offer. It begins with a funny cutscene where Tails crashes into the ocean and Sonic says, "Ah!" And right off the bat, you have the standard running around and platforming experience that Sonic is known for. And it's surprisingly well adapted into 3D. The controls feel really natural, and aside from the wonky camera, I'd say it holds up pretty well. I also think it's hilarious to see this little warning that they put in the game about the camera. It's a new technology and we couldn't figure it out either, so please just bear with us, okay? The game is also littered with annoying, though sometimes hilarious, bugs like this one where Sonic is pulled through the floor for no reason, or this one where he glitches out all over the place. But there's also a lot of really cool moments like this iconic set piece where you have to run away from a killer whale as it's destroying the boardwalk and trying to get to you. From everything we've seen here, you can definitely tell that Sonic is experiencing some growing pains after having all of his limbs extended for 3D, but it is really charming and I can't help but like it. It's also worth noting that a lot of the weird bugs in the game, I've heard anyway, are exclusive to the DX version and not present in the original. But again, I didn't play that one, and that's not what we're talking about here, so yeah. I'm willing to bet most people would agree with me that the portion where you play as Sonic is probably the best, most polished, and enjoyable part of the entire game. It's only when you play as the other characters that the experience kinda begins to fall apart. People always hate on the Big the Cat levels because they're the Big the Cat levels, but I always thought the levels with Knuckles were far worse. The whole searching around for your emeralds thing was really tedious, and the fact that they could sometimes be hidden inside the enemies meant that you could just be flying around like a freaking jackass for hours before eventually finding it inside of a little dude and wanting to throw your controller into the TV. Good times. I also thought Gamma's campaign was pretty cool. I'm pretty sure his name is Gamma. I forget. The shooting mechanics were an interesting and creative way to break up the gameplay of the other characters, but besides that, I think the other characters weren't all that great. Hell, when I was just getting footage for this video, I completely forgot that Amy was even a playable character in the game, so there's that. And on top of that, the soundtrack is really awesome, and honestly, it has no reason to be as crazy as it is.
Sonic Hero! Watch right here, right here.
I also think the whole open world approach that this game took was very interesting, and I'm glad to see it coming back with some of the newer games. Everything in this game, from the visual design to the gameplay to the hilarious janky bullshit sprinkled throughout the game, makes the game a very memorable experience, and I think that's why a lot of people still have such fond memories of it to this day. So, 20 years later, is Sonic Adventure DX the best GameCube game ever made? No. Is it the best 3D Sonic game ever made? I want to say no, but like a lot of the other games are really bad, so I actually don't know for sure. But is it worth playing? Yes. If you've never played this game before, it's definitely worth picking it up just to see what all the hype was about, and to have a few good laughs at all the stupid nonsense. But I can't in good faith recommend playing this game all the way through and beating everybody's campaign. Even if the Supersonic section at the end of the game is super dope, It's just really tedious, and I still can't recommend it. And with all that, I hope I didn't piss off too many people in the gaming community. Let me know in the comments what you think about this game, or if you have any fond memories that you might have of this game, let me know. I'd love to read about it, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one.
No!